All right. Good afternoon. Well, good morning for you and good
Yeah.
afternoon for us on the East Coast. Super excited to have you a part of the Sorted Conversation. So before we get started, I just want to give a little bio about Jerrica. She is the owner and operator of Earring Kulture LLC, an accessory e-commerce store that offers bold and vibrant statement pieces for both men and women. The goal is to make you look great. I'm sorry, make you look as great as you feel. So you guys started in February of 2020 in a small town of Lake City, Arizona, Arkansas.
Yes.
Arkansas, not Arizona, Arkansas. And then, although it's still a one-woman show, the company is thriving and growing in the right direction. So, welcome, Jerrica. Thank you so much for being a
Thank
part
you.
of the Sorted Conversation. So, like we discussed, it's really just going to be a conversation between us. We'd love to get to know you, your company, and your story. So, we'll just kind of kick it off first, if you want to introduce yourself. I know we just went through a little bio, but anything you'd like to share, and then we'll kick off questions to get to know you and your story.
Sure.
Yeah.
So as she said, I'm a one-woman show. I'm pretty much shipping. I'm pretty much doing everything by myself, but it's very rewarding. I usually come in and ship probably about 5 to 6 orders a week. So it's slowly progressing, but progress is progress. So I'm happy. I plan on doing more this coming June. I usually send out things for Juneteenth and every other holiday. So I look forward to expanding my business and possibly bringing on somebody else in the future.
That's awesome. Congrats.
Thank you.
So, getting to know your company and your mission, like what's
Yes.
your mission? What's your goal? Tell us a little bit more about Earring Culture.
Okay, so I chose the words earring culture, of course, earrings, because I started off with earrings,
Okay.
but culture came from in the past when you first thought of jewelry or any type of earrings, necklace, or anything. You thought about the person's culture. So you thought about their status, you thought about who they were, in a community, and you could literally look at their gold pieces, silver pieces, and see who they were, like status wise. So
Mhm.
that's why I picked culture as the second word. And I thought it was neat because we're always talking about the culture.
Yeah.
So it just flowed. And I was at work when I came up with the name, and it was between that name and another name. So I was real happy that I stuck with this one instead of the other one. I don't know if it would have flowed as well.
Yeah. It's
But
interesting because I think of culture when you say Earring Culture. I think of
mhm,
all the cultures that they have jewelry as part of their beliefs,
mhm,
whether it's like longnating their neck or specific pieces for babies when they're born. So it's just very interesting to see the tie-in for like culture purposes or social purposes and status purposes, like you said.
yes, I'm glad somebody gets it. Somebody gets it.
I get it. I get it. I'm sure plenty of people get it, but it's
Mhm,
very interesting to be able to like associate where jewelry, I guess, originated from, and being able to
yes,
tell that story like it was part of so many cultures from the very beginning, and now we wear it for status, for fashion, just what makes us feel good. That's awesome.
yes. And I feel like everything is supposed to be intentional.
Mhm.
So I try to keep things to where um it has a purpose behind it, or every intention to the business is exactly what it's supposed to be. There's no extra, even though I am extra.
I feel like as an entrepreneur, we have to be pretty extra
Yeah.
in general to even take on this
Yes.
lifestyle. That's awesome. So, speaking about intention, what do you feel Earring Kulture has, like, what is the uniqueness of your brand, of your company?
I think it's the rawness, the intention, me being real about what I actually offer. Um, it's not a lot of, well, I feel like it's not a lot of men being offered jewelry. So I do offer men jewelry as well as women. It's not a lot. I'm trying to expand um, because it's so much harder to shop for them. They're picky, but in a good way.
They're
In a good way.
picky, but they're also very detailed. They're not detailed on a lot of things, but like these little pieces, I feel like they're like, no, yes, no,
No,
like
yeah,
very sharp and straight to the point, versus us, we're like, oh, well, maybe if I put
oh,
it with
yeah.
this, it'll work, and they're just like, no or
We have,
yes.
we have so much that we can pull from, like the different colors and stuff. We have
Yeah.
so much we can pull from, so it's easier for us to just pick up 5 earrings that look completely different. They're like, no, give me one black. And I'm like,
Just one statement piece and make it a good one.
let me find something real quick. So I'm always happy to just stay as real as I can to my brand. I know a lot of people are doing a lot of different things and I commend them, but I don't want to be like everybody else. I started off with a logo, and that was I guess the first time business thing that I did. I don't know if everybody goes through it, but I started off with a logo that I initially loved. And then I was like, this is not me. Um, so I went with a little bit more simplicity for the logo, and everything else is extra.
Yeah.
So I like it that way. Like the packages are pretty purple, pretty I have my logo and stuff wrapped around my packaging paper and stuff like that. So the logo itself is simple. Everything
Mhm.
else is just like, whoo. So you know it's me when you see it.
What made you pick purple?
Okay, so red is my favorite color and purple is my safe color.
Okay.
So I have my bold color just out and open, and I have my safe color where I'm more reserved. So I
Gotcha.
started off with purple.
Okay. It's a good color. There's a lot
Yeah.
of meaning. There's a lot of meaning behind, colors in general, but there's a lot of meaning behind purple. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So starting a business, it
Mhm.
it's not a simple decision.
No.
Everybody thinks it's like, oh, I'm just gonna start a business. It takes a lot.
It
So I guess, can you tell us a little bit about your inspiration, like who's inspired you to either start the business or continue to do the incredible things that you're doing today?
Okay. So my mom actually had a jewelry store across the street from our high school when we were in like the 10th through the 12th grade. It's called Glamour Days. And I actually named one of my earrings after
Oh,
her old store. So she sold costume jewelry that were anywhere from like maybe like $1 to like $10. So anytime anybody need anything for prom, for games, for parties and stuff, everybody went across the street to her
yeah.
store. It was really neat to be able to experience that. So when I thought about it, everybody knows I love earrings. I'm not coming out the house without earrings. I have earrings in my car. I have earrings in my locker at work. I have earrings in my purse. I'm not being caught without earrings. If you see me without earrings, I'm probably sick. That's
Oh
it.
boy. Yeah. Yeah. I
So
mean, that's your brand.
yes, I'm
Yeah.
an earring person.
Yeah.
So it was only right for me to start earrings, given my mom's background and me seeing it growing up and me being a earring person. Because like I said, you're always going to see earrings and I prefer bigger and bold. So I've incorporated that in my business as well. So
Mhm. So
and she was,
you grew up around them. Like, this is like
yeah.
who you are. That's
So my mom
awesome.
has been happy as well too, and that's a plus to see her be happy to see me flourish,
Yeah.
in something that she's done in the past. So
Yeah.
it's been very rewarding.
How exciting to go from like a brick and mortar location and then your mom gets to experience it in the 2020s with you
Oh,
going
e-commerce.
e-commerce. That's amazing. Like, that's
She
awesome.
she is baffled because she's like, so how do you do this? But how do you ship your orders? So are they coming to get them? And I'm like, no, we're shipping everything out.
Yeah.
So I really don't have to, I hold on to inventory and stuff, but once the inventory starts moving, it gives me more space. And then on top of that, when I bring things in, I store it. I don't have to have it up on the display. So I save more space.
Yeah.
And so it's different. We've talked about it, and I actually had her help a lot with actually getting the business started. But on the e-commerce side, I had to do a lot on my own, and it was trial and error. So
Yeah. It's very different than a brick and mortar location.
it
Oh my gosh,
is.
you should totally share that story about Glamour Days and how Earring Kulture like came about. Like that storytelling is amazing. Yeah. Well, we know brick and mortar to e-commerce is very different.
Yes.
Having a small business today is very different. I think that it's so common for somebody to say like, I own my own business, because like almost everybody does. But what challenges have you or Earring Kulture overcome while working towards your goal? And also like, what is your goal?
So I'll start off with my goal. My goal is to be a household name. When I think about brands, I think about all type of brands you would see like it's literally in the store. I'm thinking about possibly branching off in the future to be maybe like in a suite setup or something like that. But right now I want to stay e-commerce. So in the future, if you see me in a boutique or something, just know I worked very hard to get there.
That's awesome.
But that's my goal, to be a household name. So if you see Earring Kulture, you know, hey, that was Jerrica.
Yeah.
So right now, my biggest challenge is time. I will be completely transparent, completely honest. My biggest challenge is time. Because I do work I won't say a 9 to 5, but I do work a 12-hour shift. Usually 4 to 5 days out of a week. So trying to come home and get sleep on top of shipping out orders and different things like that. They tell you, hey, it's work, but they don't tell you the grunt work that nobody sees. So it's like, okay, do I ship out orders at 6 a.m. when I get home? Or do I ship out orders when I get back up at 2? If I oversleep, then I can't ship them out till tomorrow. It's very different.
Yeah.
And especially because I work a rotating shift. So my hours, the time that I go to work changes from week to week. So it's a little difficult sometimes to prioritize things if I don't have a set schedule. Now, when I set a schedule exactly the way I think it should run that week, I'm like this.
Okay.
But if I miss one day, it
throws everything off.
It throws everything off. And I'm like, where did the time go?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm learning.
Do you get your schedule in advance?
Yes, we get it in advance, but sometimes we have things pop up to where like just I think last Wednesday, I was getting ready to actually ship an order and was getting ready to walk out the door and then go walking, because I love to walk. It's a beautiful park here. Getting ready to walk, and I got called in. So that halted everything. But I got to work, and then they said, oh, we don't need you anymore.
Oh, no. Oh, no. I'm already here.
Yes, but I had so many orders to I had already set up my schedule to do orders that night. So I knew what I had to do. And I was like, okay, if I stay at work, sure enough, I'm making money, but these orders are going to be pushed back. So I came back home.
I hear you.
I came back home and did the orders, and then I just went back my next scheduled days, but stuff
Right.
like that come up
Yeah.
that like nobody sees. So it
Yeah.
just, they see you going and that's it.
Yeah. That's tough. It's tough to try try to figure out a schedule when there's so many changes on a constant basis. But
Yeah,
you're doing great.
thank you.
We're doing it. It's tough. We talked about this in our last video
Hmm.
with Sidra from the Hue Collective MIA and Lou from Jackfruit Foundation, and like prioritizing and how do you figure out how to do it. So we all understand the challenges, and we just have to make it happen. Like there's no
Once you get them,
other
like,
option.
woo!
Yeah,
But
yeah,
the
yeah.
process, you're like, woo, okay.
On to the next one. That's awesome. So as a one-woman show, you're doing social media, you're doing the website, like describe your creative process. Also, like you're doing purchasing and like figuring out merchandising and all those things. Like talk about what that creative process looks like. Like let us understand how Jerrica gets through. Like it's one thing to be a business owner, but then it's also another thing to be a business owner that does it all, because essentially there would be somebody that is the creative for social media, and they are meant to be creative for social media. And then you have somebody else that's creative for merchandising and purchasing because they're great at forecasting and like the creative mindset of merchandising, right? But as a
Right.
one-woman show, you've got like 1,000 hats, and they're all very different hats, and you just have to be that person to figure out all of them. So what does that creative process look like for you?
So just a regular day, because I look at things every day. I know some people say they only look maybe twice a week or something like that. I'm nosy. So I'm nosy and I'm always looking for the next thing. So I usually look maybe about 2 to 3 times a day at different merchandise, what I want to come in for the next couple of weeks, or what I want to come in for the next 3 months, because of course shipping from US to shipping from China is completely different, which is something I had to learn in the beginning.
Yeah.
Because I started in the middle of when COVID first started,
Right.
and then started in the middle of Chinese holiday. So I learned shipping very quickly.
Yeah.
From getting inventory in to when it actually comes in. My I want to say, my carrier is actually will ship things to me. I guess I get too many packages for them. They will literally ship they will literally ship things 7 orders at a time and bulk them and put everything in one package.
Okay.
And I didn't notice that they were doing that at first. So it slows down when I'm actually supposed to get it.
Right.
But then I get everything all at one time. So sometimes it's very like, whoo, I got a big package. And then sometimes it's very overwhelming.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah. So they won't stop doing it. And that's completely fine. They're making it easier for them. And I understand that shipping has gotten a lot more hectic than what it was.
Right.
So that's fine. I'm gonna work with it. Sometimes I'm just like, ooh, I got a lot to do. But I try to count everything to make sure everything is what I ordered. I look through things to make sure if there's any defects and different things like that. I section everything off. On a good day, I actually put everything on the card to get them ready to where I can put it away. But lately, I've been just sectioning it off and putting it where it needs to be. And if an order comes in, I still know where it needs to be, because it takes like, I won't even say it takes 5 seconds to put it on a card. So I know how long it takes each item that's going to, go on a card. If it's a more hectic one, I go ahead and get it situated. After that, I usually get all my, I usually get everything with my packages and stuff situated. I have anything from um, bubble wrappers to the big poly mailers. I have
Mhm.
boxes, and every blue moon I have to use USPS shipping. But most of my things are purple, either a metallic purple or I guess I would say like a mix between lavender
Yeah.
and like a light purple.
Yeah.
So everything, like I said, when you see it, you'll see either an Earring Culture logo or you'll see um, some type of purple. If you see a pretty purple, it's probably me.
That's
So
awesome.
just be on the lookout.
That's
But
awesome.
yes, I'm excited I went with purple. I didn't A lot of people say don't go off of every little thing that I think you would like to do, go off of what you would think the customers would like or different things like that. But I've been very fortunate that the things that I like are actually doing well.
Yeah.
Um,
It's a balance of trying to figure out how to stay true to yourself, but
yeah,
also be good for the customer and good for the
mhm,
community. Absolutely. So
it
I'm
really
glad.
is.
Yeah. And how does that creative process look for you for social media? Like creating your social media posts and website and all things digital.
So usually, at first when I first started off, I was doing all the posts like literally by myself as far as like I would get on and I would post. Now I'm going in between spur of the moment and I'm going in between an app that I use. I think it's called Planolly,
Hmm.
if I'm saying it right.
Yeah.
Um, that has been very helpful. Very, very helpful.
A
um,
scheduler is a game
yeah,
changer.
it has been so helpful, especially when I'm having to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and drive to work and I'm at work for 12 hours. So I'm trying to figure out, okay, do I post? Do I have time to post? And sometimes you may
Yeah.
post at the wrong time. And then it's like a flood comes in an hour later. And you know the way Instagram works with the algorithms and stuff. So it's it's
It
it's
feels
very
like so much pressure to reply quickly because you don't want to drop on the app. It's overwhelming.
it is.
For sure overwhelming.
My sister asks me all the time, how are you responding so quickly? Or how are you on there? It seems like all day. And I'm like, most times I actually have my notifications on. And that's something that changed when I started Earring Culture. I'm not a notification person. And because I'm a live in the moment person, I don't want all the notifications flooding me in at one time. I don't
Yeah.
want to checking my phone.
Yeah.
So I've had to learn to be more aware of notifications. I've had to learn to be more just not necessarily in the moment, but in the moment of social media, especially when
Yeah.
it comes to my business, because if not, you'll miss something. And a lot of things have time constraints dealing with business, especially when you collaborate with other people or you have a customer that wrote you at 10, but you may not be able to get to them till 1 o'clock. And um, you may miss them
Hmm.
as far as them actually still wanting a product
Yeah.
because they may see it as, oh, well, they're not responding to me. And the whole time
Yeah.
it's just you're just busy that day. It's not that you don't want to respond. You see it and you would like to respond, but you're not going to give a hasty response because you could. It's on these phones. You could easily write the wrong thing in
Yeah.
Siri or autocorrect will correct you and write something you never wrote.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've had that happen. So I
Yeah.
try to be very mindful when I send messages back. If I can't give it my full attention, most times I will not send anything. I'll wait until I can give it my full attention so I can be like, okay, I know I said this earring is blah, blah, blah. It's available at blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's exactly what I wanted to send. I'm not rushing trying to get off the
Right.
phone because I'm at work or,
Right.
so
Yeah.
everything is intentional. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to make sure that the business flows and I'm
Yeah.
not missing anything.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
But you know what? It's so rewarding because on the days where I'm up like late at night, either making earrings or sorting through earrings, I can honestly say once I'm done, I'm tired, but once I'm done and I wake back up and I can look back over at my projects of what I've done and what I've accomplished, it's a
Yeah.
good feeling.
Yeah. That
It's a
feeling
really
of
good
accomplishment to know
feeling.
like you're doing this. It's
Mhm.
slow and steady, but that's how it's going to stay strong. 100%. Yeah.
Right.
So if you had one piece of advice to someone that is starting out or thinking of starting their own business, what would it be?
I tell my family this all the time. We have this thing that we say, stay true to you, do you. There's a lot of people in business, but you can only be you. That's the uniqueness about your business. That's the uniqueness about you. Do what's best for you. You can follow trends. You can do whatever you want to do, but stay true to you.
Yeah, that's
They
great.
will be able to tell.
Yeah, no, for sure. 100%. People
They
can
will
tell
be.
when you're not being yourself.
Yes, they will be able to tell.
Yeah, even the products that you sell, you want it to be true to you. Like I remember when I first started Sorted Olio, someone asked me, they're like, how do you merchandise? Like, how are you purchasing? And I'm like, honestly, I just started with things that I would like.
Mhm.
And they're like, what do you mean? I was like, I started with things that I love and I enjoy. I would have in my own house. I would have in
Yes.
my own kitchen cabinets, and like I would gift to other people because I want it to be true to myself. I can't sell something that
Yeah.
I don't love.
Yep.
Like that makes me think of like back in the day when people used to do like knife sales and they would like knock on the door to sell knives. I don't know if that was a thing in Arkansas, but that was 100% a thing in Florida. And
Yeah.
people used to go like door knocking, like, hi, we have this chef, da 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 da. And I'm like, do you cook with these things? Tell me about
No.
these. What have you cooked with? You know? Because it goes back to that, like, how true are you to your product? Like, and that will show your passion as you're trying to, you know.
Because when you love what you do, people can genuinely see it on you. They can see the excitement. They can see everything about the brand. They can see it in you.
Yeah.
So
That makes me think about the quote that people say, like, when you love what you do, it's not work. No, 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 no,
it
no.
works.
It's 100% work. That's not a good quote. That just means that it's work, but it feels a little bit more worth it
Yeah, a
after
little bit more
it's
enjoyable.
done. But it's probably more work
Yeah.
because you feel, at least for me, like I feel like a little bit of extra pressure. Like your success is literally only in your hands, you know?
Yeah,
So
it's on your shoulders. Like, okay, I'm the only one carrying this, so I have to deliver.
and then when you have a team that you're employing after, like on underneath you, then it's like, oh, I have my company's success and their livelihoods on my shoulders. So
I
that
haven't got
quote,
that yet, but
that quote needs to be
yeah,
rewritten. That's
provide.
well, Jerrica, so what's next for you for Earring Kulture? Like, love to hear what's coming up, events, activations, plans.
Right now I am working on some beautiful bracelets and some necklaces for Juneteenth. And I actually have another company that I run that's called Cultured AF by Earring Kulture. It's the t-shirt and clothing side to Earring Kulture.
Nice.
So I have the jewelry side and then I transitioned and that side is red. So
Okay.
I kept I kept my colors. My safe colors with the jewelry and my bold colors with the clothes. And you'll be able to
goes with
tell.
the name, which goes with the name. Yes.
Because you think bold and you think fire. So
Yeah.
I stuck with culture, but I added the AF at the end. So you think red.
Yeah.
So transitioning between the two of those has been very interesting, going back and forth. And I love it. It's different. Most people is like, okay, well, how are you doing the clothes and how are you doing the earrings? And I'm like, okay, so Earring Kulture is my baby, and Earring Kulture afforded me to be able to do KAF. So I like the flow of it. It literally flows to me. It kind of flows a little
Yeah.
bit, but I'm definitely still learning. I'm supposed to do a collab with another Black-owned business soon for Juneteenth, so I'm interested in showing everybody that soon. I also have a pop-up shop coming up this weekend. It's actually tomorrow.
How exciting.
I know it's in Jonesboro, Arkansas. So if you're available to come out, check my social media. I don't remember the exact address, but I think it's at a nearby hotel. So if you're interested and you want to come out and support a lot of Black-owned businesses, small-owned businesses, people that are local to Jonesboro, Arkansas, this is a very great time to come out. It's from 1 to 4. And I will make sure that I repost all that information once again on my social media, because I know I've been bombarding people with that.
Yes.
So it's a pink flyer.
They see it once out of the 4 times you post it. So it's the only way. Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's awesome.
I'm going to keep posting it. I'm going to post it tomorrow, and I'll make sure to get on there and do, I like showing my table. This is my second one. My second pop-up shop, and eventually I hope to be able to do my own, because I have an idea of having great food and music and things and stuff, kind of like how you used to do in the old days, or when you go to the flea market, they have the food, they have the shopping, and they have good music. Like, I want that atmosphere.
We just did Cupid Fest in February. I don't know if you were able to see, but it was basically the same thing. It was about supporting small businesses and local businesses. We had food, we had entertainment, we had like a live book reading, live musical performance, a DJ. So
people are more engaged.
Yeah, it's so much fun. Yeah.
It reminds me of, I told my mom, I said, I think I was born in the wrong generation.
Yeah,
I'm a 90s baby, and I'm like, I think I was supposed to already be here in the 90s, because what they used to do back in the day, or my mom was a teenager and, you know, coming up to having us and stuff, all the soulful music and stuff, and the natural look of, you know, big rings, hair, different things like that.
Yeah.
That's what I love. So I'm like, okay, I have to figure out how to incorporate all this into a pop-up shop down the line. So eventually you'll see my name on a flyer to promote and have my own. So I'm interested in that in the future.
Absolutely. We'll definitely keep an eye out. Well, if you can share your social media, your website, this is your time to plug yourself so they can stay connected.
So Earring Kulture is earringkulture.com. It's EARRINGKULTURE.com. My social media for Facebook and Instagram is both the same. It's at Earring Kulture. I also have a Instagram, and it's the same, at Earring Kulture. And not Instagram, I'm sorry, for Pinterest, it's the same. For KAF, Cultured AF, it's at Cultured AF. So KULTUREDAF for both Instagram and Facebook. And for the website, it's culturedaf.net. It's .net, don't do .com. I've had people do .com, and they're like, oh, I can't find you. And I'm like, oh, let me go look to make sure it's running, because I've had that scare. I can't find you. I can't find you. So make sure you put culturedaf.net instead of .com. Yes, .net.
Awesome.
And other than that, if you see the pretty red packaging for Cultured AF, or you see the purple packaging, tell a friend. I send out flyers, I send out emails, all that. So if you want to, you can get on the mailing list. They're at the bottom of the website pages to subscribe, or you can go through my Instagram or Facebook pages. It'll take you straight to it. I send out a
Awesome.
lot of good things.
Yes. Also, stay tuned on Sorted Olio. So, Earring Culture is part of the Sorted Olio community, and we definitely share their information
Mhm.
as far as promotions or anything that is coming up. So, they are part of the Sorted. So, if you're also subscribed on sortedolio.com, you'll receive that information directly in your inbox or on social media, which includes Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest as well. And it's also available on the bottom of sortedolio.com when you scroll all the way down to the bottom. So Sorted Olio's website is sortedolio.com. And it'll be the same thing for Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest at sortedolio. And we just want to say thank you so much, Jerrica, for joining us. It was so exciting to meet with you again. It's so awesome, like using technology to be able
Yes.
to support other businesses, small businesses. Like when you think of small businesses supporting other small businesses, it tends to be very hyper local, which is great.
Yes.
But it's so exciting that Sorted Olio is located in Florida and you're located in Arkansas, and we're able to support each other. It's so awesome. So it's a
Yes.
pleasure to be able to connect with you again and share
Yes.
your story and your passion and be a part of the journey in any capacity. And this is just another start to another chapter of Earring Culture.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. And I appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody, for joining, and stay tuned for the next Sorted conversation. Have a good one.